Alright, so this is MacDave Graphics Studio. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be explaining all the tools in this Photoshop. So let's launch into our Photoshop. You can see I'm using Photoshop CS6. So this is our Photoshop CS6. So if you look at here, I've imported an image. I've showed you guys. Okay, let me show you how to import image. If you want to open an image, just go to your file, go to file, press open, then go to your desktop and select the image you want to import. These are your folders. You can open any of them, then click on the image. Let me say I want to import this image. I'll click on it, then open. Click open. Sometimes some image does not used to open in Photoshop, but there's a shortcut, there's a way you open it. Okay, so but the best way you import image, just go to your file explorer, drag the image, click on it, drag it, then drag it to your Photoshop. Just hold and drag. Click on the image, then hold the image, drag it to your Photoshop. It will just open. Maybe I want to import, which image do I import again? Okay, let me import this. So if I want to import this image now, let me import this man. Click on it, then carry it, drag it to your Photoshop. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Then I will drop it here. So if I drop it here, it's going to open it on top of this image, but I want to open it on a separate window. Okay, see the image here. So this is how you import image. Alright, so let's get into it. So this is my Photoshop. I'm going to explain the screen features, then I'll start with the tools. Then you can see here the first bar is the menu bar. Contains your file, your edit menu, image menu, flyer menu, type, select, filter, view, window, help. Then the second layer, the second row is the properties bar. This is the property bar. Displays the property of each tool you are using. All these tools have their own property, so that's the property bar. So the next one is the title bar, the application title bar. It displays the name of your image. You can see this image we imported here, and this is the name of the image. As it being you have saved this image, now you will see the name you saved it with here. So this is our ruler. The next one, this is our ruler. You can see the ruler. Then this is the toolbox. Are you seeing it? This is our toolbox. Then coming to this side, this is the layer. Here is our layer bar. Every image you imported here, or text you typed is going to appear on its own layer here. Okay, so this is our color palette, where you pick color from. Then there's another color palette here. You can see it in the toolbox, but this is the main color palette. Okay, so in this our layer, we have what we call layer thumbnail. This is the layer thumbnail. Are you seeing it? This shape, this small picture of the image here, this image here, you can see the small picture here. This is the thumbnail. Okay, this is the layer visibility. You can on it, you can off it. This thing look like eye. Okay, so all these ones are the effect. These are effect bar, effect, I call it effect bar, effect layer. You can see brightness and contrast, level, curve, exposure, vibrance, then color and saturation, all color balance. These are effects you give to your work. So now we are going to explain the tools now. So this tool here, we are going to start from the number one. The number one tool is the move tool. If you press your cursor on it, you will see the name, the move tool. So the move tool is used to move the image down on the name move tool. Okay, but first of all, let's unlock our layer. If you look at this layer, you can see something like padlock. It's showing that the layer is locked, so you have to unlock it. Just double click on that key, double click on it, then you press OK. If you want to rename the layer, you can rename it here, but just press OK. Okay, so we have unlocked our layer. So number one tool here is the move tool. The move tool is used to move this image around this layer. Are you seeing it? I'm moving this image here. As it being we typed anything or we import any shape, you can use this move tool to move it and position it to the place you want it to be. So that's the work of this move tool. The next one is the rectangular marquee tool. the rectangular marquee tool, you can see the name there. It is used to make a selection, a rectangular selection or a square selection. Just click and drag to make a selection. In Photoshop, whenever you make a selection, this is a sign. This moving line, it shows you that you have made a selection. Every effect you are going to do now is going to be affecting only this selection. That's what it means. So if I want to add any effect to this now, this text area, maybe I want to add color to it, or I want to crop it out, or I want to move it out, I can do it to this selection. Okay, so that's work of this rectangular marking, used to make rectangular selection. That's work of it. If you want to deselect, just press Ctrl D. Deselect. Okay, so if you right click on that particular tool, there's other some tool under it, but they are almost the same. You can see this one, elliptical marquee tool, single look mark. All of them are used for making selection, but this one is elliptical, is for making elliptical selection. That is circular selection. Then the low is just line, then colon line. You can see it. So the next tool we have here is our polygonal lasso tool. This polygonal lasso tool is used on making selection. Again, it's used on making selection or for cropping. You can say it is used for making selection, or you can also say that it is used for cropping, because you can use it to crop maybe this particular film here. Maybe I want to crop this particular film, I want to select this particular film. You can click and just click from any point and so just go around it, trace it. You can trace it with that tool, trace it and join it to the first point. Once you join it, a selection has been made. I think you have selected this particular layer. So that's work of it. To make selection, select line or rectangular selection. You can just make crop a rectangular shape, or draw a rectangular shape, or make any rectangular selection using your lasso tool. You can draw it. So that's work of it. Then if you right click on it, you have the polygonal lasso tool. You have the lasso tool, normal lasso tool. Then you have the magnetic lasso tool. All three of them are used for the same thing. They will do the same function. They are all used for making selection. Are you getting it? So just move around the image. This lasso tool, this one is just freehand. Sorry, this one is freehand. Just you want to just go around the image of freehand and a selection will be made. Are you seeing it? So all of them are almost the same. So the next tool is the quick selection tool. The quick selection tool is used for making selection. So you can see this one is also used for making selection. So how does it work? If you want to select a particular picture from this whole picture, maybe I want to select this shape. Now I'll just click on it, just click and drag. You'll be dragging this thing out until you make a selection. Just dragging it out. You want to select that particular area, just drag it. I see what I'm dragging it. Just drag it out. I seen it now. I've made a selection. Okay, so maybe that's part that not come out. Maybe like here now I made mistake here, so you can come here and change it to minus on the property bar. Change it to minus and drag it back. I see it. Just go back. I see it. Yeah, you can equally adjust the size. You can see from the property bar. This is what you can do from the property bar. Adjust the size and hardness. You can see it here. All right. So the next tool we have here is a crop tool. So the crop tool. Sorry, you see what just happened? I selected crop tool. It's only affect this selected area. That shows you that once you make a selection in Photoshop, any effect you are going to do next is going to affect only that selected area. So that's why if you made a selection after you have added any effect to it, you have to deselect it. You have to deselect it before you move to the next thing you want to do. So now I want to crop. Now I'll have to deselect this, Ctrl D. So this crop tool is to crop your image, the background, as in everything. You can crop the image. I see it cropping. After the cropping, you press enter, or you mark this good here, this good, and mark this good. I see now crop this image. So I don't want to crop it. Let me undo, Ctrl Z to undo. That's work of this crop tool. The next one is the eyedropper tool. The eyedropper tool is used to pick a color. If you want to pick a particular color from this image, maybe I want to add a color here, but I don't have the color here in my color palette. This eyedropper tool will help us to pick the color You can import that image you want the color from here, then you use your eyedropper and pick the color. Maybe I want this particular golden color, but I can't find it here. I can use this eyedropper to pick it. If you pick on it, are you seeing it? The color you have picked will affect it will reflect here in your color palette. This color palette in your toolbox. If you select any layer, you can see the color is changing. If I pick any color, it will reflect here. So this is it. Okay, so this is work of the color pick eyedropper. So the next one is the patch 2. So what is this patch 2 used for? This patch 2 is an editing tool. It's used for editing. Okay, so maybe I don't want this patch 2. Maybe I don't want this pillow, as in I want to erase this particular part of this pillow that is touching the wall. I want to see this wall. Okay, so I'll just use my patch 2. Just go around that particular shape I want to remove. I want to see the floor. Okay, then I'll just select it and I will move it wood and bring it out. I see it. I'll just moving it out. I want it to like this. So before that, you have to change it to content away. Right, so are you seeing it now? So you have to change it to content away here. So let's come to D again. Are you seeing that particular part of the pillow have erased? I'm seeing the wall. Okay, let me erase here. So I want this particular part of this pillow to I want to see the wall that is at the back of it. I will bring this out. Are you seeing it now? So this particular tool is used for what? Editing. So okay, maybe I don't want this part of maybe I don't want this part of image here. I will carry it out. So are you seeing it? So it will just erase that part. It will just be moving it out until you get what you want. Okay, so that's the work of it. So now okay, let's undo. If you want to undo, you select first Ctrl D, then hold your Ctrl Alternate Z. Just be pressing Alternate Z. If you want to undo to the previous place we are. Okay, let me leave this one like this. Ctrl D. You can see here we have affected the okay. So the next tool is the brush tool. This brush tool is used from the name brush. For the name brush, you have to understand it's used for painting. The brush is used for painting. Maybe you want to paint a particular area, or you made a selection. Maybe you made a selection using your mask tool, and you want to add a color to this selection. You can use your brush tool. Then let's say we want to paint it blue color. Okay, using our color picker tool, you pick the color you want to paint it. Then with our brush tool, just go to your brush tool, then you can paint the color. Are you seeing it? Just paint it. Are you seeing it now? So that's the work of this brush tool. This for painting. Okay. Alright. So the next tool here, okay, under this brush tool, I'm just explaining the tool. Other ones are not that necessary. They are all the same thing. Pencil to the same function. Okay, so the next tool here is the Chrome tool. So this Chrome tool is used for what? So how do I explain it? It is used to clone an image. Maybe this pillow here, I want a duplicate of this pillow in this image. I want this pillow to appear like 2 or 3 places, to appear 2 or 3 times in this image. I'll use my clone tool. Okay, just go to that particular image you want to clone, you want to duplicate. Hold your Alt key, then click on it. Click on that particular image, then you carry it. You can create a new layer for it. This is where you create a new layer. I forgot to tell you, this one is also the under the layer bar. You can see this these icons here. This one is delete bar. This icon, this is create new layer. This is create new group. You can see it. So this one is add mask. Okay, this one is the adjustment, layer adjustment. Then this one is layer rank. So So this one is layer style. Okay, so I want to create a new group. Now I'm telling you how to use this Chrome tool. Now if you want to use the Chrome tool, just hold your Alt key, click on the image you want to duplicate. If I want to duplicate this pillow, and I've clicked on it, then I'll create a new layer, and I'll just paint it on that particular place. I think I'm painting it now. Just paint. So you can see this video now is double. It's now double here. So if I want to clone this particular table, I'll click on it. Make sure you are on this layer and click on it. Hold your Alt key and click on it. Alt key. Then I can go to this layer again, or I will be on that particular layer. Actually, let me be on this particular layer. Then I'll paint it. I see the table is appearing to white. So that's the work of this Chrome tool. The Chrome tool. Okay, maybe I want this carpet to cover like part of this shape. I'll hold my Alt key, click on the glass. I'll just paint it. I send this. You have to reduce the size of your distance so that you get what you want. Click on it so you can manipulate some things with it. I see it. So this is the work of this Chrome tool. Then the next tool is what? The history brush tool. The history brush tool is used for what? To bring the image back to normal. Okay, let me delete this first layer. Okay, so this is our main image. So this history brush tool is used to erase any effect you have done to this image. It will be image back to its normal state. To change it to the way to erase everything you edited here. As you can see, there's no layer here. It's only this image. So I'll use this at history brush to erase all the effect I did here. Okay, let me erase now. Are you seeing it? The image will come back to normal the way it is before. Just erase. I'm erasing history brush. Just erase and bring the image to its normal state. You can see all these Chrome effects I added. All of them are erased. So the image has come back to the way it is the time I imported it. So that's the work of this history brush tool. Okay, you just bring the image back to its normal state. Then the next one is the eraser tool. The eraser tool is used to erase from the name eraser. You will know the function. Maybe you use your brush tool and creating. Okay, let's create a new layer for this. Maybe I use my brush tool and paint something like this, and I don't want this thing again. I'll use my eraser brush and erase it. Make sure your opacity is 100. Can be looking at this property bar. All you can see in this property bar is the size. Here is the size where you can adjust the size, where you can change the brush type of brush. Have hard brush, this is soft brush. Are you seeing it? This is the soft brush, this is the hard brush. So here in the property bar, you can adjust the size, choose the type of brush you want. You have other mini brushes here. Okay, so here is the opacity, the strength of the brush. Then here is the flow. So here I have to erase this particular paint I did here. That's the work of this eraser tool. Okay, so the next tool here is the paint bucket tool. You can see the name paint bucket tool. That's the next tool we have here. This paint bucket tool is used to add a color. It's used to pour a color to a particular place or particular selected area. It's used to add color. Okay, it is used to add color to a particular area. Maybe I selected a particular area. Let me say I selected here. So I want to add color to it. I can use my paint bucket tool. Just pick the color you want. You can use your eyedropper tool. You can use the eyedropper tool and pick the color. Maybe I want to pick this golden color. Let me pick this. Okay, I want to add it here. Then you use your paint bucket tool. Then go there and pour the color. Click on it. Are you seeing it? The color we just add there. So that's the work of this paint bucket tool. And this paint bucket tool is the tool that have respect for line. Is a tool that have respect for line. Okay, let me show you what I mean by the tool that have respect for line. Okay, so now let me say I want to add a color. Okay, I created new layer now. On this layer, I'm on this layer like this. Okay, let me say I'm on the our main layer. Look at the main layer. So you know, in Photoshop, anything you are doing, you have to be on that particular layer you want it to affect. So here I want to add a color. So this paint bucket tool will only add a color. It has the space for line. If I click here, you can see it's only it's going to add a color to that particular background. Any part that is not within the background is not going to be affected. Are you seeing there is a line in this frame? It won't touch it. It have the space for line. Okay, let me add here. Click here again. You can see the two that have the space for line is only add a particular color. Are you seeing the effect? So that's the function of this paint bucket tool. You support a color. Okay, so now we want to bring our image back to normal. Before we continue, we have to use our history brush tool. Our history brush tool, let's erase everything. Okay, wow, so nice. So we are on the next tool, which is the smooth tool. This smooth tool is used of picture editing. This is a photo editing to smooth a particular area. Okay, maybe I want to smooth here. So it's mainly used for photo editing, but you can still use it. Your design, smooth painting. This was smooth. I seen it just to something like smooth a particular or left area. You can smooth it. Okay, that's work of what it's mainly used for photo editing. Okay, so the next tool we are going to look into is the dodge tool. The dodge tool is used for, okay, under this smooth tool we have another tool which is the sharpen tool. This sharpen tool is used for sharpening. Maybe that is part of the image that is blur. The part of image that is blur, you can use this sharpen tool to sharpen it. So this other one is the blur tool here. Look at the blur tool here. If I click on it, the blur tool is of blur. By the name, you know what is blur. So maybe let me blur some parts. Or maybe I want to blur a particular area. You can see the blur effect is appearing here. Let me increase the strength. Increase the strength to like 100. Or okay. Let me click. You can see this particular area is getting blur. It's getting blur. So let me use my sharpen tool now. Then you go to your sharpen tool to sharpen it. So this sharpen tool, you have to be adding it small to avoid it loading till like Kingdom Come. So now we are sharpening it. Are you seeing it now? The blur is disappearing. The face is now sharpened. Okay. I seen it. So that's the work of this sharpen tool. It was going to sharpen that particular area. So here it's like, here is go. So let's sharpen it. I seen it. So that's the work of this. Then the next tool here is the dodge tool. This dodge tool is used for highlighting. This will highlight a particular area that is shiny. Okay, look at this image. The place that is reflected by the sun. Okay, that's, if you look at this video, like here is a little bit bright. Here is brighter than here. So this dodge tool is to brighten the lighter areas. It is used to brighten it to make it look very bright. Okay, you can increase the exposure. That's how strong I want it to appear. You can increase it, placing this to 50. Okay, let's highlight here. Are you seeing the effect here? Okay, let me highlight this video. Are you seeing what the effect? The video is getting more bright. I want to highlight here. Okay, let's highlight this image. Are you seeing the effect now? I'm highlighting this particular frame, the one at the middle. It should look like, just to make it more bright, it look like it's shining light. So look at this image. I want to add dodge effect to this one and to this one. I'm adding dodge effects now. I see the effects. So we're going to make it feel very bright. So that's the work of this dodge tool. So the next tool we have here, under that dodge tool we have the bond tool. That's the opposite of this dodge. So this one is for highlighting. The next one is the bond tool. The bond tool for what? Darkening. This is to darken the image. darken the image, maybe the darker areas. Okay, let's make it more dark. I seen it. So that's the work of this dodge tool. Just to darken it. I seen it now. So that's the work of this dodge tool. I seen the effect. Dodge tool is for dodge, but why adding it? You don't add it too much. I'm just showing you how it works. Okay, so why adding it? You don't add it too much. Then the next tool we have here is the pen tool. Okay, under that dodge tool we have the sponge tool, but this one is not that necessary. I don't know what it's doing, Sha. It's not that necessary. I don't think it's doing something useful to this. So the next one is the pen tool. Okay, the pen tool is for making selection. This is the best tool for cropping. This pen tool, that's the main tool for cropping. You use it to trace by anything you want to crop, any image you want to trace, you want to crop it out from this image. That's the tool you use for. That's the tool you are using. So you have to pick it. That's what is called anchor point. You go around the image by clicking, creating an anchor point. While you are moving, you'll be clicking on the edges. So create an anchor point. Maybe I want to trace this image, I want to copy. You have to join to the first anchor point, join it. Then if you join it, something like this will appear. Then you have to make a selection after the cropping. Then you click Ctrl Enter to make a selection. I seen it. That's work of this pen tool. You also trace an image onto D. Okay, the next tool here is under that pen tool we have sub tools. Okay, but they are all the same pen tool. So this one is like if I made a mistake now, I want to delete some anchor point. This one is delete. You can see freeform pen tool. Okay, this one is freeform pen tool. This freeform pen tool is just used for freehand, as let me say freehand tracing. Are you seeing it? You are going to trace freehand. Just draw like you are drawing. After it, you press Ctrl Enter. Are you getting it? Ctrl Enter. So the next one here is delete anchor, add anchor point, delete anchor point, then convert point to. So all of them, this one anchor point is this point that is appearing when you are clicking. This point now, that's what is called anchor point. Maybe you made a mistake, you want to delete some part, some anchor point, just go here and delete anchor point. Click on then delete. I see while I'm deleting it. So the other one is add anchor point. You can add anchor point. I see it. You can add them. So that's the work of this. Then the next tool is the text tool. So I don't have to explain this. This text tool is used for typing. Just click on it. If you want to type, use your text tool for typing. So just click on the text tool. Sometimes it used to load due to it's one of the biggest tool here. Let's wait for it to run. Should we cancel it? No. Let's wait for it. Alright, so now this is the test tool now. So using this test tool now, you click on any part you want to add the text. Click on any part you want to add this, then you start typing. Sorry. Just click on any part, then you start typing. I see it. I'm typing like this. So see our typing here. So from the property bar, you can change the font. You can see this one. This is the font. This is the bold. The font. This is the typeface. Then the font. I see it. Then the size of the font. The typing. You can change it to like sharp, crisp, strong, or smooth. Alignment, you can see where you can align it, center, left alignment, center alignment, right alignment. Then you can change its color from here. You can see here, change its color from here. Then if you want to curve the text, you can curve it from here. This way you curve the text. So that text used to for logo. Then this one is toggle character. This one is not that necessary. Then after typing your mark good. Okay, mark good. So the next tool here is the freehand, is it direct selection tool. Okay, this direct selection tool is used with this direct selection. It works hand in hand with this pen tool. it work hand in hand with the pen tool. Okay, maybe you use your pen tool and you made a selection like this. So this free and direct selection tool will help you to adjust this anchor point here. Maybe you came here and select this place, you can use it to adjust the anchor point. Have you seen it? So adjust this anchor point directly, just click on it then adjust it. So that's the work of this direct selection tool. Okay, so that's the work of it. Come through, enter Ctrl D. So the next one is line tool. These are the shape tool. The shape tool, you can see the rectangular tool, curve tool, elliptical tool, polygon. These are shape. You can use any one, just draw, click and drag, the shape will appear. So from this property bar, you can change the color, change the stroke, change the width size, change the stroke style. Then I think that's all you can do here. Then the next tool here is a free hand, so we can use it to move the image. So this image, it does not work. Okay, the free hand tool is used to move your image. Just click here on the edge, from the edges, just move it to anywhere you want it. That's function of that. From the edge, you move your image around your image. Then the zoom tool, that's the last tool. The zoom tool is to zoom your image. You can see it, zoom it. If you want to zoom out, change it to minus, then you zoom out. Isn't it? You can zoom in, change it to plus. Just be clicking on it. Then that's the last tool. The next tool we have here is the color palette. That's it one. Okay, so this is the end of the tools in in Photoshop. Okay, so I think with this you understand how to use all these tools. The main thing here is to understand all these tools. Once you understand how to use all these tools and their functions, you can design in Photoshop. You can do anything you want. See tutorials I'm be teaching you guys, you'll be creating Photoshop. So thank you for the time spent in this class. So and stay tuned to watch other of our videos. We are going to be dropping a lot of videos on this Photoshop, from edit, manipulation and others. So let's stay tuned. Okay, thank you and God bless you.